Joining us now is former South Carolina quarterback Stephen Garcia as the Tigers get ready to take on the Gamecocks this Saturday night at Tiger Stadium. Stephen, good afternoon. How are you?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us. I want to get your initial thoughts on South Carolina, off to a 2-2 start. Some good things working there, some things to work on. What are your overall thoughts of their 2-2 start?
Well, it started off kind of miserably. I think every Gamecock fan can say that. But the last few games, even against Florida, I thought we kind of played, fairly decent. So hopefully, we're kind of turning the corner here, and we can kind of find to get some keystone wins and get our program back to where we were, in the early 2010s.
Steve, I was a little bit surprised when Ryan Hilinski wasn't the starter, and I realized you go get Colin Hill from Colorado State. Mike Bobo already has that relationship. But look, Ryan Hilinski is a guy that threw for 2,300 yards in the SEC. He had 11 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. He's the five-star guy from California. You make the move to Colin Hill because he knows Mike Bobo's offense, and it just felt like they wanted a steady quarterback who wouldn't necessarily set the world on fire, but he would always take care of the football.
Right. And I talked to a bunch of the people. I'm actually in Tampa, and I've talked to a bunch of the guys that are still around, the campus and around Columbia, and kind of got the feel for what the program's doing. And everything that I've heard as soon as Colin got to campus, that he was kind of taking over as the leader, and he's got NFL arm, and like you said, he already knows he's familiar with Coach Bobo. So I mean, the stars kind of aligned, and I feel bad for Ryan, but he stayed there, and I talk to Ryan all the time. He asks me questions almost daily, just like how do you handle this, how do you handle that. So his head's on straight, and I'm happy for him, and hopefully he gets a chance to play. I'm hoping, but the current state, Colin definitely, in my opinion, I feel like it gives the best chance to win.
Yeah, and you get your first win against Auburn since 1933. Now I know it's not a team you play every single year, but that was a big win last week. If you come in and you beat LSU this week, I mean, that's 2 back-to-back weeks where you beat 2 blue bloods in the SEC. That's something that I feel like could give this program big momentum, even regardless of what Auburn and LSU's records are this year.
Oh, there's no doubt. I never beat Auburn in 3 tries and never beat LSU in 2 tries. So, you guys are a pain in the ass to play against. That's for damn sure. But yeah, man, those would be 2 big wins, and like I said, hopefully we can kind of get these keystone wins and kind of get Muschamp and these guys kind of get some momentum going.
You beat Alabama, and for that we are eternally grateful. So just so you know that, okay? That was a great day. Stephen, LSU will almost certainly have a first-time starter at quarterback on Saturday, and they may play 2 quarterbacks in the game, as Coach Orgeron has suggested. I'm wondering if you can remember back to your first start and the practices in the week leading up to it and what these young men are dealing with physically and mentally right now.
Believe it or not, my first start was actually against LSU after they won the college championship, the national championship the year before. So yeah, it was pretty intimidating, being a 18-year-old kid, and I guess I got redshirted the year before, but I mean, still, you don't play against guys like that on a regular basis. So I mean, you got the adrenaline going, especially leading up the whole week, and then you got the Friday walkthrough, and then the walkthrough before the game on Saturday, then it's the night game. I mean, it was crazy as hell, that's for sure. But I mean, that's what we sign up for. That's what you go to the SEC to do. You go out there because you want to play in front of 100,000 people that are booing you or cussing you out or cheering you on. I mean, that's part of the deal. And I was actually on a couple of radio shows earlier today, and I was telling them, once you get hit the first time, all that goes to all the jitters, everything else goes the wayside. I mean, you're ready to rock and roll. At least it was for me. So. And I feel like these guys nowadays with kind of stuff that I'm doing with the private quarterback coaching, I think these guys are a lot more prepared than say I was, being an 18-year-old going into that kind of environment.
I want to ask you that question about being prepared for that moment, because obviously when I was coming out of high school, even when you were coming out of high school, 7-on-7 was definitely a thing, but it wasn't what it is now. You mentioned in quarterback training. You do a great job there. There's people across the country who thrive in quarterback training. And so I do feel like a true freshman coming in and playing right now is completely different than even, let's say, 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, there's no doubt. Absolutely zero doubt. I mean, I may have had maybe 2 or 3 workouts when I was in high school with some guys around Tampa that, we're doing this, but it wasn't anything to what we're doing now. And like you're saying, it's around the country. Hell, I make a living. This is all I do full time is training quarterbacks, and I'd never in a million years I think I'd be doing it, but I love doing it. I'm still involved in the game, still talk with these guys, and it's definitely, these guys are a hell of a lot more prepared now than they were, like I said, and like you said, when we were coming out of high school.
Now, I know it makes a quarterback's job a little bit easier when you have Shi Smith to throw to. He's been a lot of fun to watch this year. The question was, coming into this year, could he be a true number one? And he's actually done that and some. 34 catches, 347 on the year. And he does a great job, Stephen, of getting under the skin of the DBs he's going against. As you know, that throws them off their game just enough, and he thrives in that moment.
Yeah, he does, man. I know he's catching some stuff from Coach Muschamp and some of the other coaches, but I personally, I love it. You got to have that dog in you. You got to be able to kind of talk some trash, because damn well those defensive guys are talking way more than than what the offensive guys are doing. So I love seeing it all the time. So, but yeah, like you said, he's kind of come on and making a name for himself, and I'm happy for him.
Stephen Garcia is our guest, former South Carolina quarterback. Stephen, as you're training quarterbacks, what is the biggest thing that they have to fix, the biggest transition that they have to make when they do take that first snap as a college quarterback?
Oh, man, we can do the training. I tell these guys all the time, we can do this training until we're blue in the face, but nothing can replicate, live bullets and a game speed. So as much as you can, try to get game reps and try to just mentally prepare yourself for what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, there's nothing like college football and the SEC and the speed of the SEC. These guys are running. You got defensive line guys that are running 4.4s. I thought I was pretty fast coming out of high school, and I was, like 2.10, running like a 4.5, and then I'm getting caught from behind by a defensive end or defensive tackle. So I was like, all right, well, this ain't gonna work. So that's when I started to put on a little bit of weight, so I could take some of those hits. But yeah, just the speed of the game is so freaking different from the high school level.
Stephen, how big do you think this year is for Will Muschamp? Everything's so different this year, and 2020 football has just been kind of crazy already. A lot of people say nobody's really on the hot seat. Will, so far, it looks like he's got the program going in the right direction this year. But do you think he's truly on the hot seat?
This has been a crazy year to say the least. But to answer your question, man, I feel like a lot of fans around at least in the Twitter world and social media world would like him to be on the hot seat. Me personally, man, I answered this question earlier. I would freaking love to play for him. I think every current player that I talk to from the team now absolutely love playing for him.
Right.
It's tough when you got your in-state rival, putting up 73 points and just beating the hell out of teams and winning national titles. So, it's hard to recruit against that. It's hard to recruit against other teams in the SEC, but, I feel like he's held his own, and, we just got to keep having these keystone wins, and I think we just got to get over that hump of these, 7-6, 6-6 seasons. We got to have some 10-win seasons for him to kind of keep his job, in my opinion, at least. And hopefully that's soon.
Hey, I can tell you before we let you go, I only got a chance to play defense for about 2.5 weeks when I first got to LSU, and Will was the defensive coordinator. One thing I can guarantee you, he'll have you ready to run through a brick wall. Always, always ready.
Oh yeah, no, I see on the videos, man. He's constantly fired up, and I actually talked to him. He's so good about reaching out to the former players and the alumni, and he's always like, yeah, anytime that you're in Columbia, the door's open to you if you want to come talk to the team, whatever you want to do, man. It's you guys built this out, so he's been really great about that, and that's one thing that I wish Coach Spurrier would have done, but it is what it is.
Stephen Garcia, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate having me on.